Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge.
Oh, we had to do it again.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome, everybody. This is the regular city council meeting. First, we'll start with a roll call.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Here.
Anna,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Prusader,
Here.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the public comment section. Ladies, would one of you like to come up and start for us?
Oh, they wouldn't like to, but they got to.
So, introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Graham from East Buchanan, and
Okay.
I had a question. For the Veterans Park fountain, are you going to remove it?
Well, that's something we're going to talk about. That's something we're going to talk about tonight. We've talked about it briefly in a work session itself. Does anybody else want to tell her about the fountain and why we think it's necessary or not necessary?
It's in tough shape, and the cost of repairs and things are just outlandish, so we're probably going to move. I can't speak for the whole council, but in my opinion, we'll move to remove it and beautify the area.
Yeah.
It's been at least 15 years since it's worked, so
Yeah.
if not more.
I think they tried, if I remember from our discussion last time, they tried to get it up and going again, and it was
Yeah.
leaking and not doing well. so.
Vandalized.
Thank you for the question, and we appreciate
That was
that.
a good question.
Okay, all you.
Today, the
8th.
My name's Danica Benning. I'm from East Buchanan as well. And I was wondering why you're removing the bridge at Knott's Landing?
Okay, again, this is a proposal that came up, and we've talked about it a little bit at the work session itself. Would one of you like to talk about the reasons for that? Who's
kind of the bridge to nowhere, isn't it?
Just the bridge moved in there, they thought they were going to use it for a trail, and it never panned out, and so it's been sitting there for years. It's just time to get rid of it.
It's just kind of sitting there. It's not connecting anything to anything. It's just an eyesore.
It was being held there because we thought there was a possibility that we might want to have some type of a bridge over the creek as part of our
Trails.
a trail, as part of our trail system. So that's why it was originally held, but it doesn't look like we're going to do that anytime soon. So the question is, do we just have it continue to sit there or not? I think the council's going to talk about that tonight.
All right.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Good questions.
Thank you. Very good question.
Did you have a paper to sign?
Mark? Sorry.
One thing I just want to suggest with that mic there, would it help if they pulled that mic
What school are you from,
closer to the
Crawford?
mouth?
Probably.
Good
Don't
comeback.
speak up, one of the two.
Good one.
There you go.
Thank you. I'll just briefly give you a couple updates on a couple projects that are new as of today. On the bridge project, the crews did work a little bit last week in the sketchy weather to finish installing the deck drain extensions, so those are all in. And with the sunshine we have for this week, they are going to pour the deck overlay tomorrow. That'll start somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. As we did with the First Street Bridge, if any of you are interested in seeing how that operation works, it's a little different than your typical paving process, so feel free to stop out. That'll be going on tomorrow. The complex project, contractor notified us this afternoon that they will be on site tomorrow to do seedbed prep and prepare the area for hydro seeding. That work all will take place tomorrow. So
The sod's out?
I don't know anything more about the sod.
Okay.
How about the sidewalk bridge over on 7th?
Thank you for asking that. They are on 8th, yes.
8th,
Yep.
okay.
They are working on that. They had hoped to do the overlays at the same time, but the repair, what they call Class A repair on the pedestrian bridge is not quite finished yet. There's still some corroded steel that is showing that they need to do some sandblasting on. And they didn't get to that today, so that's going to be its own separate work.
Thanks.
Separate pour, I should say. But they are coming along very nicely on it.
Yeah, it
They were
looks
able to
like-
start. They were able to start earlier than they thought on that one.
Good.
So
That'll be
What
nice.
street is, that's?
8th Avenue
8th
Southwest.
Avenue?
8th Avenue Southwest.
Look at that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
See, next on the agenda is the proclamation. Supporting children and strengthening families in Buchanan County requires commitment from all community members. Therefore, the City of Independence, Iowa, along with Buchanan County Volunteer Services, Inc., Buchanan County's Child Abuse Prevention Council, and Operation Threshold, proclaimed April 2024 as the month of supporting children and strengthening families, prevention in partnership. We call upon all community members and partners to participate as we proclaim, our children are the most valuable resource and will shape the future of Buchanan County. Protecting our children is everyone's business, and we can promote and support safe, nurturing, and healthy families. Child abuse and neglect is a community problem, as is involvement in finding solutions. Successful prevention is due to partnerships among child welfare professionals, education, health entities, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement, and families. Providing support and uplifting communities, families, and individuals to ensure our children can be raised in a safe, loving, and healthy environments. We recognize the child welfare workforce and allies who work tirelessly to protect our children. We honor the strength and resilience of adult survivors of abuse and neglect. We call upon everyone in our county to stand together to support children and strengthen families. Prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Therefore, I, Brad Blackner, Mayor of Independence, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Buchanan County, Iowa, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating themselves to supporting our children, strengthening families, and improving the quality of life for our children and families. And I've now signed this proclamation. And Donna, thank you for bringing that forward to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll move to the consent agenda. I need a motion to accept and approve the consent agenda that approves the following: the minutes of the March 25, 2024 special meeting and the minutes of the March 25, 2024 regular meeting. Do I have that motion?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 7, the financials. I need a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the bank reconciliation. Does anybody have any comments on that? That's for information only. Okay, thank you. We'll move next to revenues and expenses to date. Again, that's information only. Does anybody have any questions with respect to that?
Thank you, Susie.
You're welcome.
Next, we move to the resolutions, starting with item number 10. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the fiscal year 2025 budget, CIP, and transfers.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion with regard to this? I know we've talked about the budget a lot, and the transfers and the CIPs. Does anybody have any further discussion at this time? Hearing none, that would be a roll call vote.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Prusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 11, which deals with the salary wage increases effective July 1, 2024. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the salary wage increases effective July 1, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. We've already talked about this. This includes everyone with the exception of the city manager, who will be dealt with in item number 12. Any further discussion with regard to the wage increase, which is 3%, by the way?
It also doesn't include the police force.
Oh, it does, yes, correct. It also does not, because they're part of the union.
No, it's, if you are included. That's
Okay.
what we budgeted.
Okay. All right, good. So the question is, are we ready for the vote on that, or is there further discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll move to a roll call.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Prusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 12, which is the city manager's portion of the salary increase. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the salary increase of blank percentage effective July 1, 2024. And I'd like whoever brings the motion itself to state the percentage that we're going to
I'll make the
increase it by.
motion. And I'm going to say 3%, just like everyone else.
Okay, is there a second on that?
Second.
Is there a discussion with regard to that? No?
I think it should be higher, but I can understand also that that might put our city manager in an uncomfortable situation with the rest of the staff and employees, but I think he deserves more.
I agree on that point, and in our work session, I talked about it and stuff. And
Yeah, you did.
And I think, he's at the helm. I personally think he should deserve a little bit more. However, not being here during the other wage things, is that going to have harsh feelings from the employees, how they don't get as much as the manager? But I feel the person in charge should get a little bit more than the regular employees.
But our department heads have been here for how long, too? And they're getting 3%.
Other discussion? I mean, I don't get a vote on this, but I believe that the person that's in charge should have a greater percentage than the staff, than the other people that are the department heads, even though they've been here, they may have been here longer, but he's still got to deal with all the issues of the city. So if I had my vote, I would have recommended at least 4% increase. But again, that's my personal opinion, not as a voting member here. So other further discussion?
Going back to when we hired Matt, we kind of gave him the idea that we would be looking at increasing based on productivity and what he did. And I think he has done exactly what we requested him to do. Therefore, I would be fine with the 4% too. I do see the rationale behind the 3%, but I'm just looking at what we had talked about as far as that hiring process at the time.
Right, and we did make, when we negotiated his salary, we did make concessions and indicate to him that he was taking less than what he desired and moving, out of state to come here. So that's another reason why I think, and I didn't do the reviews, but the three of you that did do the reviews gave him, exceeds expectations. So he's exceeding expectations. So that's not a regular employee. But again, this is your call.
I just feel, the motion is on the floor, it's seconded. If there's no more discussion, I think we go with this vote and see where it flies. We can always make another motion after that, correct?
Absolutely. So if you're voting in favor of this motion on the roll call, then that would just be a 3% increase. If you vote no on it, then we would come back with another motion for a different percentage. So that's how we will do it. And moving forward with the roll call then.
Moore,
No.
Prusado,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
No.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
No.
Hannah.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 4-3. Next, we'll move to item number 13, which is the funding agreement for Operation Threshold, Inc. So I need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a resolution that approves the funding agreement with Operation Threshold, Inc., and for the city manager and the city clerk to sign the funding agreement. First, I need that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we previously discussed all of these, even though we have to do them individually because we have to have separate resolutions. These are numbers that we came up with in our the authorization for Operation Threshold is $2,000 this year. So is there further discussion with regard to that, or can we go to the roll call?
Roll call.
Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Prusado,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay, passes 7-0. Next, we move to the funding agreement for the Buchanan County Tourism. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the funding agreement for Buchanan County Tourism, and for the city manager and the city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is the same situation. This would be $1,000 funding agreement toward Buchanan County Tourism. Further discussion with regard to that? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call on that as well.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 16, which is the funding agreement with Independence Celebrations Committee.
No, 15.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, 15. This is the Buchanan County Senior Center. Motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a resolution that approves the funding agreement with Buchanan County Senior Center and for the city manager and the city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is $700. It's what we previously discussed. Is there any further discussion with regard to that? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote also.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the one that I tried to skip to immediately, previously. The Independence Celebrations Committee, a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the funding agreement with the Independence Celebrations Committee and for the city manager and city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This is, again, what we previously talked about. This is $10,840. Further discussion with regard to that? Hearing none, we would move to a roll call vote.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 17, which is the funding agreement for Heartland Acres Agribition Center. Motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a resolution that approves the funding agreement with Heartland Acres and for the city manager and city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This is, again, something we've previously discussed. This was $1,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Houston,
No.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 6-1. Next, we move to the item number 18, which is the Northeast Iowa RC&D. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the funding agreement with Northeast Iowa RC&D and for the city manager and the city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We previously discussed this a couple of times.
But for the public, this
This is the Upper
Upper
Wapsie
Wapsie
Valley.
Valley.
Wapsie Valley watershed.
Yeah.
Right. $5,000 is
5,000 this time.
But it comes out of, this is from a separate fund.
Stormwater monies.
Yeah.
right.
From our- And this is very valuable. I've been attending the meetings, and one of the largest crises in Iowa right now is water quality. So anything we can do to aid that from the bottom up, which the cities are versus counties, is beneficial to our citizens beyond what anybody can even be respective of. It's
So,
just.
water quality is a big part, but aren't they working on flooding
Right.
issues too?
But that's
which I think
part
is
of it, is flood
huge.
mitigation.
Yeah. There's been a lot of work done in Kowalski area, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever lived in Independence when it's flooded knows how important this is.
yeah.
Further discussion? Roll call vote then, please.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 19, which is the funding agreement for Pathways Behavioral Services, Inc. Need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves the funding agreement with Pathways Behavioral Services, Inc., and for the city manager and city clerk to sign the funding agreement.
So moved.
How
Second.
much was it?
This was $1,000. Further
I'll second.
I already got it, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
Other discussion with regard to this?
It's one of the biggest deficits in the state. I was at a meeting the other night where Sheriff Tony Thompson from Blackhawk County spoke, and he talked about, and Deb and I and Kathy are so aware of this, having worked at the state hospital for many years. It's just, there's a chronic group within the state of Iowa that is underserved. Some of them are homeless, some of them are incarcerated, and we need services like this to prevent the incarceration.
If it wasn't for our financial situation that the city is in, I would have been in favor of giving more, but under the situation we stand,
Oh, absolutely,
You
yeah.
know.
Understood, understandable.
a little is better than nothing because it
Yeah.
does serve a tremendous need for the community.
I think we do want to show our support, so
Yeah.
we tried with the budget.
Any further discussion? Move then to a roll call vote, please.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes,
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 20, which is the fire service fee update. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that increases the fire service fees as shown in Exhibit A of the resolution.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is something that we talked about at the last work session. Any further questions, comments with regard to that? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
yes,
Moore.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to other business. Item number 21 is the airport rules and regulations. I need a motion to approve the revised airport rules and regulations.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is something that we talked about at the last work session. This is something that the board has been working on for quite some time.
They really did a good job.
And they condensed it to what is pertinent to
Yeah.
our airport, which I really like.
Chairman Callahan really worked hard, should be commended.
This is also something that where our city attorney was involved in the process as well. And
Sure.
So, anyway, further discussion with regard to this. Hearing none, this is a roll call vote again.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
yes,
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 22, which is the Veterans Park fountain removal. I need a motion to approve the removal of the fountain at Veterans Park.
So move.
second.
I have a motion and a second. Now, we've had some discussion with the ladies here about it already. Any further discussion with regard to the fountain?
I'd like to see us build a repair to replace it, but it's not feasible for our budget.
No. That fountain's been there since Hannah and I were.
It was cool in its day.
Yeah.
Once something becomes so old, it's time that you just stick bad money into a bad situation, and
Yeah.
you're better off get rid of it for now. Down the road, hopefully, we can do something different, you know?
Well, I think they did try to work on it and fix it, so somebody gave due diligence to it, and
Right.
if it's still not working, then it's
And they still found out it didn't work right,
Right.
so why throw bad money after bad?
And I think the discussion was that once it's removed, the parks can make a decision with regard to what else can go there, or what else can we do with that particular area.
Sure.
Something to think about, too.
Um,
Further discussion? Yeah,
Well, yeah, that was my question is, if we do remove it, because it's right along the river, do we really want to sink a lot of money into renovation for like a park space or whatever, or picnic space, whatever, in the plans that it's going to get flooded?
Bob's probably got a pretty good plan for it, don't he?
Yeah, it's just planting grass and repairing the sidewalk was all we were planning to do.
Is that all they were planning to do?
Make a continuation of the sidewalk through there, and the rest be grass, and then you don't have to worry about flood destroying whatever
Right.
else you put in there. That would be the logical way
That'd
of
be,
doing it.
that'd be the way I'd
that
be
area
fine.
would be available then if there is a need to put something else in there. It would
Right,
be.
down the road.
Okay.
Further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes,
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 23, which is the bridge at Knott's Landing removal. I need a motion to approve the removal of the bridge at Knott's Landing.
So moved.
Second it.
A motion, a second. Again, this is something we discussed at the work session.
who's going to remove that and pay for it?
Take it to the scrap place.
Yeah.
There's some different options that we're in the discussion, correct? We have some different options that we can look at on, you know, if we pay personnel to scrap it, take the scrap yard, or if we can find somebody that could use that metal, but they are responsible for hauling it away or whatever. I think we leave that up to Matt's discretion.
Some of that's so rusty, it's coming apart.
It just shouldn't cost us to
Yeah.
remove it when we didn't put it
So
there.
our best bet for the city is if we can find somebody that will take it for the metal, and we have no expense versus paying our city employees when they can be doing other things more constructive, is the way I would look at it.
That's
your
exactly
plan.
how I look at it.
Any further
But we'll
discussion?
see what we can get.
Roll call vote then.
Weber,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes,
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 24, which is a private septic tank installation at 308 14th Avenue Southeast. I need a motion to approve the private septic
So moved.
tank installation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This is again something that we've talked about at the work session itself. Is there further discussion with regard to this? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote then.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
yes,
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 25, which is the private septic tank installation at 1201 6th Avenue Southwest. I need a motion to approve the private septic tank installation.
so moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Discussion?
Go ahead, Brad.
I was just wondering, one of the things that I'd like to see, Deb, in your motion, if you'd consider making a revision to include that we make the motion to approve it based on all other approvals, such as DNR and things like that, would that be?
DNR's already improved it, right?
I don't know if DNR's looked at the septic tank itself, but I know the council, or the county has looked at it. But yeah, you can make it subject to that. You could also make it subject to one of the suggestions that was made by the county that I didn't get in the memo that I should have, is that there was a suggestion that it be approved subject to a survey to indicate that it's at least 10 feet from the property lines for wherever their rock field's going to be at, as is required by the regulations.
I make a motion, we modify this to include that.
I think Deb has to.
Don't we
No,
have to vote this?
You have a
one?
motion.
Well, we have to vote on
Already,
this
Deb
first.
has to
Yeah.
modify her motion or else leave it
Yeah.
on the floor for
Yeah, I'm sorry.
consideration.
Is that
Or you
different
can
on this one
try.
than the other one, just because of location, or?
Yes.
Yeah, because this is in the floodplain and the other one's not. You could also retract and let him make his motion.
Well, I'd like to see DNR approve it,
So you're adding that to your motion then?
yeah.
Does the other part need to be added, though, for
The
it to
surveying?
truly, the survey and all that?
If the council wants to require it, yes.
Well, if DNR approves it, they're going to probably require a survey, but if they approve it.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Does it have to be surveyed? If DNR approves it, would be my question.
I don't know if DNR is going to require a survey or not.
My thoughts are, if any of it looks in question, they're going to follow up on it, so.
That's the way I would look at
I
it.
just don't want the liability to be on the city should we approve it, and then it comes back saying we approved it and it was done prior to. That's the only reason I bring that up.
I think Matt's idea and the county's idea with the survey, if Deb felt like she needed to include.
Do those get inspected again when they're,
I
Done?
don't do anything with septic systems, so I don't know the answer to that.
I think,
I mean, like any of them, like,
isn't it the county that has the ultimate decision
Yes.
with respect to that? So
Yeah.
we're just approving it from our side of the coin, and then DNR and the county then do the final approval, so,
Where does water come in on that?
I'm sorry?
So the water line could come from Bland or it could come from 6th Avenue Southwest. We have a 6-inch main on Bland and an 8-inch main on 6th Avenue Southwest.
Is he connected yet?
I don't know if he has water service out there or not. We'd have to check.
So can I request the motion as presented to be read
The current motion?
with the revised?
So what I have is motion to approve the private septic tank installation at 1201 6th Avenue Southwest contingent upon Iowa DNR approval.
Sounds good.
Matt, would you like to see the survey in there as well?
It's not up to me to decide, Mike.
But I mean,
To you
the
guys.
county felt it was necessary, didn't they?
They did.
Do you want to include that then, Deb? Since they-
so wouldn't it have to be done through the county? Because the county's got to approve it too, you said?
County has to approve it as well, yes.
So it's already on the county.
Okay.
So with the revised edition, does a second have to be made to approve the correction?
I would assume, Houston, are you okay with that addition?
Yeah.
If that's the case, it's just a vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, roll call vote then.
Hannah.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Crusader.
Yes.
Hold on. O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move
Question
on.
for city manager regarding that property. A private well or a standpoint are not allowed within the
The
city.
way the code reads for the city is that they will be required to connect to our water services since there is a main adjacent to the property.
Okay, thank you.
The code says within 200 feet.
Okay.
And since water service is a pressurized service, we don't have any of the limitations about gravity or anything like that. It
Sure.
can go in any direction.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, moving on. Item number 26 on the agenda, this is the Commercial Restoration Rehab Grant Application. I need a motion to approve the Commercial Restoration Rehab Grant Application of Bobin Automotive in the amount of $18,769.19.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is something we discussed at the last work session meeting, and we did the calculation based upon the way that we've set up the grant application system, the rehab grant system.
Has the city heard any feedback from citizens about this at all?
I guess I'm
What's behind that?
confused.
I'm just, isn't this kind of I was just wondering if there's any feedback, positive or negative, about this.
No, I've not heard any, nobody has reached out to me about that.
Okay.
This is all glass and windows, right?
yeah.
It's just a great improvement.
Are you asking like other projects? Have you heard on any of the projects that have been under the
Well,
umbrella? So
yeah, I was just wondering, is this kind of an unusual or a different kind of a project
It's a facade.
request?
Is it because
No.
it's not part of the downtown? Is that kind of what you're getting
Mm.
at?
The program says that preference shall be given to historical buildings, those type of buildings. It does not require that the program only be allotted for buildings downtown.
Okay. I just the way his mind seems to be going, I'm wondering if that's maybe where
What
you're-
is, what's the definition of historical? And
I don't think there is a definition within that program.
because how old is that building?
We know it when we see it.
I don't,
Oh, it's over 65.
I don't know how old the
It's over
building itself is.
65
It's over
years?
65, so I'm not historical yet, but you are.
Put in an application.
I guess, Catherine, what I'm getting at is I'm wondering if there's other businesses in the community that would be interested in a similar project with their business.
That's exactly where I thought you were going with that, was, can any business throughout the entire community come in and expect money?
They can all ask.
That's why
They
I
can all,
asked.
they can ask.
Yeah, but that's why I asked if it fell under the historical part, and that's why I was looking for a definition of historical.
Because I was kind of under the impression that some people who didn't do the downtown piece were kind of interested in doing it after the fact. But is that going to be offered again, or was that a,
Well, that's a different grant
that's a
we're talking
different
about.
grant? Okay.
Yeah, this one here is 5,000 per side, or a third of
And it's been in place.
Third of total
for many
project
years.
third of the total project cost.
So 20,000.
So that's how this was calculated.
And not to exceed.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote then.
Moore.
Yes.
Crusader.
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to reports. Council member reports. We'll start with Catherine.
I just wondered if you had had a chance to do that second part of what your email said.
Not in the afternoon, only in the morning. I've done.
Okay, okay. No, that's okay. Just when you do, let me know and I'll get back. I've talked to the
I'll
gentleman.
send that out to you and to Matt as well again.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for doing that.
Not a
And
problem.
I did tell him I would get the second part of it and I'd get back to him with what the outcome was. So we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Mike?
Nothing for me.
Right.
Nothing, Mayor, thank you.
The only thing I have is in regards to our project that's being spearheaded by Allison on the cemetery. There is a meeting tomorrow night at the Falcon Center at 7 o'clock. If there's any concerned citizens that want to go and find out what that is about. And it's about revitalizing the city cemetery, Oakwood. 7 o'clock tomorrow night at the Falcon Center if you're interested or want to know what it's about.
So how many people can attend that meeting though and be under the
3.
3? Okay.
3 from the council, but you can, as many people
As many people in.
show
okay.
up from this town. as
You
want.
and Deb were going to go. Is there anybody?
I
else?
plan on being there.
Okay.
Okay. Deb, next.
Yeah, that's just pretty much a volunteer program to clean the stones and to repair the old ones. And there's a fundraiser for it already, a raffle,
Okay.
which the city's got the tickets here. Allison's got them. You can get them at the Armory.
Allison has
There's
them.
places you
The
can
Armory
reach
has
out
them. S&K in town has them, and some other businesses.
It's a really nice rifle. They've got it down there if anybody wants to go look at it. That's it.
Tom?
Even though we didn't get the results that we expected, still proud of our University of Iowa women's basketball program, not only in playing as a team, but also representing the university and the state in a very, very positive manner. And I know Caitlin Clark is watching this view.
Hear your praise.
The offer is still out there that she can volunteer to be our Master of Ceremonies for the 4th of July parade. Whether we got someone or not, I'll make sure that we get her in, if she wants to do
She
it.
could take my spot.
Huh?
She could take my spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Brett?
I have nothing, Mayor. No.
Matt?
The governor signed SB 2096, which repeals a section of code that requires appointed boards and commissions to attempt to maintain gender balance. So that has been removed from the state code in the state of Iowa. So
That being said,
you can still absolutely try to maintain gender balance if you decide to do so.
as
There's no legal requirement for you to do so.
as mayor, that is my intention, to still maintain the gender balance with regard to the committees and commissions that I appoint.
Everybody should have got a copy of the notice from the Iowa DOT about a construction project. This is Highway 20. It'll consist of some PCC patching and such along Highway 20 itself within the city limits. So that was the reason that there was a notification filed. We were able to work with Bank Iowa regarding the account for the cemetery, and that account is now earning a 4.05% interest rate.
Oh, yay.
Instead of the lower interest rate that it was. It is a money market account, which is why it was a lower interest rate. So thank you, Ralph, for bringing that up so we could look into it and get it adjusted. We did get our final renewal in for ICAP for our insurance. The 2023 rate was $180,737 for the city. The 2024 rate is $249,067.
Whoa.
That is an increase of $68,330 or 37.8%.
Wow. That's a huge one.
We had originally thought the high end would be 30%, so it's exceeded that. So,
Do we have any other accounts that should be looked at for interest rates?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, our CD accounts that we have pretty good interest rates on them. I think this is the only one that was really, that I know of, that we found that was low. Did you have
There's
anything else?
2 other ones I can see if we can get a better interest rate on.
And do we do that periodically for all of them?
I don't normally do that for like the money markets or the checking account. I do it for the CDs, but I've never thought to do it for the others.
Matt, may I ask what it was versus what it now is?
I don't remember what it was, but it was really low. It was like 0.5% or something like that, because it's a money market account, so.
Well, that
Way
makes-
lower than it should have
That
been.
makes me feel very glad that I mentioned that to you.
That's why I said thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2 more things. So our new building inspector is currently driving around in the minivan that used to be at the airport.
Oh, right.
Oh, boy.
I'd like to see about trying to find a different vehicle for him. We have money in the capital improvement plan that we could use from the building inspector.
Didn't he have a new vehicle, the former building inspector?
That vehicle, when the other inspector was here, was given to the Parks and Rec Department. So it's now within Parks and Rec. That
I don't-
Silverado.
Don't remember if that was ever brought up, or, I guess that's,
Is our two vehicles that are sitting by the police station, are they pretty much history? Not worth?
The one vehicle we've been working on, the old squad, we've been working on trying to get rid of through an auction. That hasn't worked out. The other one is a training vehicle.
The other one is a training vehicle?
That van is a training vehicle.
Okay. I was just curious if they were just gonna be sitting there, or if they were worth, you know, if they were operating well enough that we could, you know, use that interim until we decide on something else.
Well, I know talking with
can't.
Bob Beatty, he said his equipment or his vehicles were old and.
And that's the reason why,
questionable.
right, and that's the
Yeah,
reason why I don't
historically,
necessarily want
yeah.
to pull away from Bob what was given to him by somebody else, a previous, you know. The capital improvement plan fund for the building department, I think, has around $45,000 in it. I'm not looking to spend $45,000 to buy a vehicle. But I think if we could maybe go to the 20 to 25,000 range and find something that's nice, that's used, I think that would send a better message than our building inspector pulling up in a minivan.
And leaving oil.
I'm not sure that sends the signals we want to send when they show up to do an inspection. So, anyway, that's within my authority to do, but before I do that, I wanted to talk with everybody here to find out what your thoughts are. If you want to provide those thoughts outside of the meeting, you can certainly do that as well. I'm not going to do anything, move anything on it right away anyway.
Had our code enforcer been driving that van for a while before Matt started?
Our previous individual had been driving it, yes, for code enforcement, for building inspection, for all of it.
Dave, did you have some input on it?
That vehicle won't work for anything else because it's still got the equipment in it, the canine cage and stuff, so you can't use it for anything else. That's why we're gonna try and sell it.
Okay.
We were trying to do it at auction, Matt and I, but that
Yeah.
auction thing didn't work out. So we're gonna get it sold, replenish the CIP back through on the police side.
I was just curious.
Yep.
Had no
Just
idea.
wanted to make sure you knew that so that you didn't think, oh, we just give it to somebody else and it'll work, so.
Oh,
So
yeah,
those,
that's why I asked the
those are the two that are
question.
sitting out in front?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody asked me what those were for and I'm like, I don't know.
The van
No, I
is, the
didn't.
one- the van's the one that we talked about, I believe it was at a work session meeting.
Okay.
$3,000 that we bought through the K-9 fund
Yep.
that was for training that was used from Rydell, but we're getting too deep into something that's not on the thing.
Oh, okay.
But
The other thing, two more things. The discussion brought up about the flag out there on Highway 20 again. I wanted to clarify a couple things with that. The fire department does assist with installing and removing. The city has budgeted within night. They're 3 times throughout the year. When I talked with Carol about it, our meeting was for us to, or our discussion where we landed on that was for the city to pay for 3. They're going to pay for 3, and the idea is then every 2 months that flag gets replaced. So hopefully that will alleviate the situation we have with the concern about the flag out there at Highway 20.
Is that the only flag that,
The rest of the flags are included in the flag budget outside of that.
so
that
should
cost.
these new ones be getting hung up pretty soon, or?
I don't know what the next expected completion date is. That budget won't expect until the 1st of July, so.
All I know for flags is each department's kind of responsible for their own and asks if they have flags up here. If they do, they take them. I don't dictate when they have to change them.
We have to have those new flags up and flying for the 4th of July.
Yeah, we typically do. We talked about that last year at the beginning of the year. I think we did it right before Memorial Day, so that they were up for Memorial Day.
so the people in that neighborhood aren't gonna chip in and buy new flags and stuff?
Would you like me to throw $20 at it?
Those flags are really expensive on the big
I
ones
know,
like
I said,
that.
it's beautiful flag, but very
Yeah, they're
expensive.
$700 to $800 a piece.
Yeah.
So.
There was something that you could turn in that first and sew it to keep it from catching the wind and ripping so quickly. I don't know what kind of flags these are, but I did see that as far as trying to preserve a flag for a little longer. I don't know if that would matter for doing it every 2 months.
Boy, that wind out there is just,
It's
It
the
is.
wind.
That is worth a
It's
try, though, because I
right
do know
out in
somebody
the
that does that
open.
yeah.
for the Kowalski
There's
flags.
not much you can
And they
do.
do
If
get
you
better wear out
can,
of
if you can send me their contact information, I'd be happy to reach out to them and see if there's somebody that we can repair the ones that we have out there. Because the other thing is if we get on a schedule where we're replacing it every 2 months, then you have the ability to do some repairs, because it's not it's in horrible shape, let's put a new one up. You know, it's it's damaged because it's been up for 2 months, let's repair it so we can recycle it. So if it lasts 2 months, I mean, the wind out there is pretty.
I don't know actually about repairing them, but before you fly them, if you fold them over and do an extra seam, that's what they do, the ones in Kowalski, before they were flown.
That's what
I
I'm
think when you
talking
get
about.
into
You
repairing flags,
pull it
there's
in
an
and then
issue
you
with.
sew it.
I don't know. I don't know what all the regulations are related to that and stuff.
It
I
just
don't
gives a
know.
little more support.
Yeah.
So
So we can look at that.
so we don't have those on hand right now, Susie?
Which
The new flags for anywhere around town?
I have some flags, yes, but I wait basically until after July 1 when I have the spending authority to get them.
To order.
I mean, I can order, and there's some lead time, but if I put an order in now and say in 2 weeks I get them, I've overexpended. So I have to try to be as fiscally responsible as I can when I place
But
it.
see, Matt was just saying for Memorial Day, which you're right.
We do.
We want those up for Memorial Day for our service.
Right.
So
I have some flags, but like I said, I don't know what I have and who needs what.
Would it be possible for Carol to pay for the first go-round on the flag?
I don't know. I mean,
That way we
it's-
can do it now before the budget.
I know there's a fund at Bank Iowa for that. If anybody wants to donate, you can go in there and donate and tell them it's for the flag out there, and they'll put it in the account for that. I don't know what the balance of that account is. We don't maintain or monitor any of
That's
that.
not ours.
It's all Carol's.
So who actually orders them then? Does
I
somebody?
believe the VFW does for their portion. I mean, we don't order them and then they pay us or anything like that.
That's been my understanding.
It's all separated out,
Okay.
so. Any other questions on that? I do have
Maybe we
one
can
more.
find out who in Kowalski does that.
I know who it
It's
is.
helpful. I've heard it is.
On Friday, the state of Iowa approved our SRF planning and design loan. So we're going to start working through that process. This is for the wastewater treatment plant. So that puts funds back into the enterprise fund to assist with future items. That total loan was $2.178 million. It is a 0% interest loan,
That's nice.
so.
Thank you for getting that through.
Yes.
Good.
I'll wait. I don't have anything further.
I don't have anything else.
Nothing from you, Susie? Dave, anything further from you?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Stand adjourned.